It is Week 10 of PFR on Lakeshore PBS. Tonight, sudden death high school football tomorrow for 1 through 4 classifications, while 5A and 6A have the week off.
That's right. This is a really great time of the year. Number one, you've got your regular season done, but I think there's more pressure this week on teams because, like you said, it's one and done.
Yeah, it's definitely one and done this week. All right, we'll preview the first week of high school football sectionals coming up next on PFR.
Program support comes from NIPSCO.
Honey, who is this guy?
Oh, that's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Honey, why is Frank in our bedroom?
He's showing us ways to save money. Plus, he'll even help us install LED bulbs and new shower heads.
Oh, well, he is leaving before I shower, though, right?
To schedule an energy assessment and learn more about energy usage, visit NIPSCO.com.
Frank, could you hand me a towel?
Alrighty, Week 10 of high school football coming up tomorrow night. We'll get it rolling on PFR tonight, as we always do, with the top plays of Week 9 of the high school football season on PFR Rewind. Yes, PFR.
Excellent rewind, as always.
A lot of Lowell highlights there and some Griffith highlights.
That's right.
They're on a collision course.
Boy, oh boy, they could be.
Yeah, could be, we would think. Although Morton might have a little to say about
they
that.
have had a great
Yeah,
season.
Morton's had an outstanding
really
year. All right, time for some offensive players of the week from Week 9 of the high school football season.
Boy, Reese Crossan, last couple of weeks, he has just been all over the place for Valparaiso, and what a weapon they'll have when LeFew comes back and Reese is able to go back to safety.
Yeah, he's playing awfully well. He's done a really good job. Freddie Winston, the quarterback for Griffith.
I know that, Tommy Williams really plugs him as one of the players of the year. He has had a tremendous 4 TDs against Hanover Central.
Another quarterback, Zach Merrill for Andrean.
If he plays well, if Merrill plays well, Andrain could really go far.
And Dylan Bullock in that offensive line for Andrean. He's got to play well.
That's right.
Dylan Bullock from Munster.
Boy, he's starting to really take off. Munster is starting to put things together. And, this is a 2-touchdown game for Bullock.
All right, how about some defensive players of the week?
Mason Khalifa from Michigan City, he had the big stop at the 1-yard line to save the game for Michigan City over Crown Point.
Kennard Jarrett of Andrean.
Hey, he had a 56-yard fumble recovery, took it to the house, and the sidelines was going nuts on it.
Tony Munoz of LaPorte with a pick against Portage.
Yes, a big one.
How about some special teams players of the week? J.J. Wattis has had an outstanding year for Andrean.
He really has. 42 and a 28-yard field goal. And you know what they say, if you have a kicker, you have a chance of winning the sectionals.
Especially this time of year with
Yes.
the weather getting bad and the wind going hard
Yes.
back and forth as well. Riley Square.
I think so. Michigan City.
That was an attempt for me there. Square?
Michigan
I like that. Square.
Yeah. Michigan City, a 30-yarder versus Crown Point. And then this one, Russell Morwick from Wheeler was 3 for 3 on field goals tries against
That's right.
Calumet.
He sure was. I heard that on the radio with you guys. He was kicking the ball very well for the Bearcats. And finally, of course, the most coveted award there is in high school football. It is
Eric Whitehead. Who's he?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a freshman. He's their quarterback now. Cameron White. I don't know if he got hurt or what, but he had 135 yards thrown and 1 TD versus Chesterton.
Well, yeah, and Maryville, I guess, has gone young with some positions as well.
Justin Rhodes from Maryville is 147 yards versus Chesterton. Unknowns.
All right, time for the polls this week. We start with the Little Five, as we always do, getting ready for Week 10 of the high school football season. We'll see if there's any upward mobility for some of these teams, Wayne, but check out the Little Five poll. Knox now on top of the Little Five.
Yes, Knox has had a great season, 8-1. Rensselaer lost last week, so they dropped to number 2.
That was a shocker.
That was an upset pick for me.
Yes, it was.
I missed that one.
Yes, you did.
Boone Grove, wow, what a season they have had. 6-3. Whiting at 6-2 has a big game this week. And look at the Velt. Roosevelt at 6-2.
And heavily favored tomorrow night.
Yes, they are over Bishop Knoll.
A sectional game, which is not always the case.
Right.
All right, how about our top 10 this week? No changes at the top with the big Red Devils rolling still. But Morton,
look at that.
Getting some respect.
7-2.
Yeah, they should be
We've
getting
got to
some
give some
respect.
respect to Coach Kinsey there at Morton. 7-2 on the season. Andrean and Hobart both 6-3, and if Hobart can get some players back and get their offense going, they play South
this
Bend
is
St.
where
Joe's.
respect is earned,
Yes.
Wayne, in the postseason,
Yes,
really.
that's
And
right.
Morton's done that before. They're going to have to do it again.
That's
to,
right.
Get some more respect.
Crown Point 5-4 and has played teams tough. Their defense is outstanding. Michigan City. Ooh, what a victory last week.
By LaPorte?
Yeah.
Or no, for Michigan City, you mean over Crown Point?
Right. Michigan City over Crown Point. What a big game.
City,
LaPorte had a huge game over Portage.
Michigan City, of course, with the 2 heartbreaking losses this year.
Yes.
New Prairie just flat out on a roll right now.
Oh my God, 8-1. I don't know if anybody's going to beat them in the sectional, boy. They are tough. Griffith at 8-1, and then Valparaiso at 8-1, conference winner, Duneland Conference winner, both Griffith, Valpo, and New Prairie.
Yeah. conference champs, and Griffith on a roll as well. And the number one team in
As it's
the
been for a
poll,
long time.
and the only poll that matters is
That's
the
right.
big red and black of Lowell, RDP. And again, the offense is not probably as dynamic as some folks would want, but their defense has been tremendous so far.
Hey, when you can be 9-0, their offense is good enough.
Yeah. All right, Wayne, it's time for another edition of Mascot Madness. Time to head out to Griffith and hear about the Panthers.
Griffith High School mascot is the Panther. From all the research that we've been able to look through, we really can't narrow down specifically why they decided to go with Panther. We probably think that it just narrowed down to, it's a popular mascot, so that that's what they went with. Our school colors, actually, interestingly enough, are black and gold, and they came around because of the development of our football program in 1934. Our uniforms were donated by Purdue University. So at that time, they made a switch to the school colors to black and gold. From my perspective, I think a Panther is really the perfect mascot to have because here at Griffith, we're focused on, obviously, academics, athletics, and the arts. And when you look at a Panther, I think it really hits all three of those key components. It's obviously a very athletic animal. It's an apex predator. It's extremely highly intelligent, and it's also, when you watch it in its natural form, very graceful and beautiful, and it really fits the mantra of what we ask from our students here, ask from any school, is that you focus hard on academics, you focus hard on athletics, and you focus hard on the arts. And specifically when you're talking about a Panther, it really represents all three of those things very well.
Well, I didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that either, but I think that that's a great mascot because the way that the Panthers are playing this year, they're pouncing on people for sure.
Well, yeah, but I didn't, with the uniforms donated by Purdue.
I didn't realize that either. No,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it either.
You just learn everything.
Oh,
you learn,
you know,
learn
all right.
so many things just
Sure,
by
so
watching this.
educational.
I'm telling you. Wow. All right, don't forget, you want to talk about educational? How about Lakeshore game night? That's right, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. It'll be a sectional playoff edition of Lakeshore game night with Wayne and Tommy, and on 89.1 FM, Lakeshore Public Radio. And I forgot to send a shout out to Tim Hogan over there at Wheeler. He called in last week. And
Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was good. I'm glad.
slapped Tommy around a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. All right, and don't forget, of course, we'll be back here tomorrow night as well. Playoff edition of PFR scoreboard. We'll have all the scores, all the highlights. Playing for keeps tomorrow night.
Oh,
Some folks will be going home. It's going to be basketball and wrestling season for some of these folks. So definitely watch tomorrow night live at 10:30. Speaking of Tommy, it's time for our game of the week. There was a little debate here on what the game of the week should have been.
Yes. I mean, Kankakee Valley and Andrean is going to be.
Hanover and Andrean.
I'm sorry, Hanover and Andrean
Right.
is going to be a very, very good game. But I think we picked the better one.
I think we did. It's going to be Whiting heading down to Morocco to take on the Spartans. That's our game of the week, Whiting and North Newton. Let's check out Tommy Williams.
Guys, we're at Whiting to take a look at today's, or at least half of the two teams involved in our game of the week this week. Coach joining us right now with Whiting. And Coach Kane, how happy are you with the way your football team has played the last half of the season?
Well, we're pleased at this point. I said we actually, if you go back and look at the record, I said we started out 1-2, and we got on a little bit of a roll right now. I said when you're 1-2, I said you talk about the things that you need to do to get better, and I said we've addressed a lot of those problems, continue to do that, and it's going to be a great test Friday night. So,
before we talk about Friday night, let me take you a couple of weeks ago. You had a game postponed, or canceled, I should say, on you, which I believe was your senior night. How much of a problem did that cause you guys preparing for the playoffs?
I don't know if it caused you a problem. I said we really felt bad for our seniors. I said the one thing I do want to mention on here, River Forest had their senior night last Friday, and we played River Forest. I said, Coach Robinson and their administration reached out to us, and I said, we honored our kids at the volleyball game at home on Thursday. It's a little bit different, but I said they reached out and offered it up, and I said we went out to River Forest last Friday night. Never done it before, 30 years. I said never done it, but we had senior night over at their field, and I said we really appreciate the administration and Coach Robinson doing that.
Okay, let's talk about your football team right now. Is there anything concerning you going into the second season?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that concerns you, but I said it is what it is at this point. I said you go out. I said they, you kind of are who you are at this point in the season. I said you got a couple things you can work on here and there, but I said for the most part, I said this is kind of who we are at this point, and go out, get ready, and play some football Friday night.
North Newton is your next opponent. What's your biggest concern?
That's a loaded question. Defensively, I said they play great defense on that side of the ball, but on the offensive side, I said they got 3 or 4 kids that run the ball. The 2 Wagner brothers, obviously, I said those are the kids. Both those kids, I think, are around or over 700 yards. So I said, obviously, that's where you start. I said 21 and 12, the quarterback. I said all those kids carry the ball. So I said they got the wing tee. I said they got that thing going over there. So. Defensively, I said Jeff's always got everybody. Those kids are always ready to play and always ready to compete. So should be a fun game Friday night.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All righty, let's say we head on out to North Newton. And guys, we're at North Newton, and we're going to talk to a football coach that has done something that not many North Newton coaches have done, and that's finish a season at 500 or better 2 straight years. Jeff Bean, that's a pretty good record for you, sir.
Thank you very much.
What have you done to get this program to gel the way it has? Because you did lose 3 out of your first 4 games, but you guys have since turned it around.
We've gotten the kids ready total to buy into the program. We've had a great off-season workout this summer, and then we've gone to a new conference this year, and we kind of had a lot of non-conference games. So the first 4 games this year, we beefed up our schedule with better programs or bigger schools. Just kind of hoped that would pay off later in the season for the end of the regular season and going into the tournament. Playing those bigger schools and getting those game reps, and so we kind of felt like that has paid off for this end season, and everything's been rolling pretty good.
Let's talk about the Wagner boys, who have really had a great rushing season. I want to say between the 2 of them, well over 1,000 yards.
Yes, Colin and Cole, just tremendous athletes that come from a great family, and they don't think they come off the field at all. They're out there special teams, offense and defense, and so they're just great 2-way players.
Now, you have Whiting coming up on Friday, a team that you lost to in the playoffs in the second round last year. What are your thoughts on the Oilers and the matchup coming up on Friday?
Well, we know they're a running team just like us, so we're going to have to stop and contain their run. And, they're big and they're strong, and they got a couple quick guys as well. So we're just overall going to have to contain that team speed and match up with them well.
How's practice been this week?
It's been a great week of practice so far.
What have you seen that you like going into this matchup?
The kids are really focused this week. Last year we lost to them by a touchdown to Whiting second round, and this year the kids they wanted to kind of draw Whiting first round. They want to play Whiting. We know to get to the sectional championship, to get to November, that at some point we're gonna have to go through Whiting, and so might as well play them first round, and that really has made the kids focused and determined.
Tommy Davenport, you mentioned before we went on the air, he hasn't played the last couple of weeks, but he did dress last week, so he's their top offensive weapon and a guy you got to be concerned about.
He has great running back, and we know we got to contain him. He's a dual threat in the backfield on their offense, and so we don't know if he's going to be playing tomorrow or Friday night, but we know if he does it, he's somebody we've got to stop.
Now, before we close up shop here, I owe you an apology from last year, right?
No, you're fine. That was a big rainstorm there.
For you folks wondering, we had the umbrella. We thought we had everybody covered. No, we didn't. Coach got wet, but he never said anything. So my apologies on that, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, you know the question. Who you got?
Well, I can't believe that Tommy didn't ask Coach Bean if he's related to Justin Turner of the Dodgers.
With that beard.
Yeah, or maybe he's a Dodger fan. I don't know.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
I really think that Whiting Tommy Davenport has to get the ball, because
if
really
he's
really
out there.
tough.
Yeah.
Yes, he's really tough
Obviously,
to bring
he's
down.
a huge factor if he's
And this is
playing
going
or
to be a
not.
physical game. Whiting must be out. They must out physical
Right.
North Newton
Right.
to win this one.
Well, and kudos to River Forest's coach and administration for letting
yes.
Whiting have
Yes.
senior night over there.
That
That's
is
tremendous.
great. Yes, it is.
Tremendous offer and follow through for them. It's great. And,
This is a big game for North Newton.
It is.
This is a big statement game.
this one's been circled on the calendar for
And
a
I
while.
really thought in the interview here that Coach Kane said a perfect statement. You are who you are at this point in the season.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to throw a Tarek Cohen halfback pass into the end zone.
Yeah.
But basically, your season's right now.
Well, and I think last week North Newton might have been worn down by Tri-County because it was a very close game going to the fourth quarter.
Right.
Now, Tri-County's a bigger school. They might have more players. They might have bigger kids. But that might be the thing that Whiting tries to do tomorrow night as well.
Sure.
So that'll be interesting to see. We're going to have hopefully a camera there tomorrow night for that one. All right, time now for the picks. Not a overabundance of tough ones, but Wayne's been tripped up before.
Hey, this is sectional,
You're going for Whiting right out of there, right? Huh?
Look at that. I like Whiting over North Newton for the game of the week. It's a close one, though. It's at North Newton, and they're going to be fired up.
You're picking the favorite.
By a point.
I see you shaking in your shoes over there with Tommy Davenport. You were trying to get some inside information.
I
to
was.
see if he was going to be playing tomorrow night. Yeah.
What do I have, 24 hours we have to change it?
No. It's on the air now. All right. We have all the rest of the picks coming up on Wayne's World. All right, 18-3 last week. Not bad. Got back safely above
70%, sure.
right? I'm
Yeah.
still above 50 at 56, 9
right.
and 7.
101.
So 6A and 5A.
We still have jobs.
Yeah, 6A and 5A off this week.
Yep.
So
they
that
do.
makes the playing field tougher for me because less games to pick from.
Yep, that's true. We're thanking the IHSAA for that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's check out some of the picks. We've got Class 4A. Where we
Sectional
start
17, we've got Morton and East Chicago, and I like the Governors to continue their winning streak in this one.
And you like Griffith?
I really like Griffith. They're just on a roll, and they've got too much offense here for Hammond.
You like the Red Devils over West Side?
Boy, there's a mismatch. I mean, the Devils' defense is really, really good, and their offense is starting to gel a little bit. So I like Lowell in that one. This next game is, Highland beat Gavitt during the year, but Gavitt has put some huge numbers up on the board lately.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the home team, the Gladiators, by a touchdown.
Well, and I'm going with Highland because they've gotten better. They played pretty well a couple of weeks ago. They were very solid against Hobart. I had a hard time getting that Munster game out of my mind, but I did after the Hobart game. I definitely think it could go either way. I think the time of the year, the weather, although it's going to be beautiful tomorrow night,
It's going to be beautiful.
could help with the Highland run game a little bit. And
Well, I do too, and I think Highland's more physical too. That could be a difference.
Yeah, I didn't want to come out and say that, but I believe that as well.
New Prairie over South Bend, Washington. They're just on a roll, 8-1 on the season for New Prairie. Mishawaka will take down South Bend Clay.
Man, Penn laid the wood to Mishawaka last
Yeah,
week.
they did. Yes, they did.
Riley over KV.
I think Riley's season right now is very successful up there, and I like Hobart to bounce back over
Got to
St.
go to
Joe.
South Bend. That's
Yep.
never an easy game.
Yep.
Class 3A, sectional 25.
Wheeler over Clark, but the interesting thing? Clark has that Matt Johnson and Antonio, I think, Walker.
Yeah.
So, but I like Wheeler there. I like Andran.
Okay, you like Twin Lakes over Calumet.
Again, another tough one because Calumet is playing well, and I like West Lafayette, who's the best in that sectional.
All right, Knox and Fairfield in 3A?
I like Knox. I don't know much about Fairfield. And I like Lake Station to win the bye.
I love Lake Station to win tomorrow night. No doubt about it. They got the bye. Okay.
Boone Grove stays on the winning track over River Forest, although this is a close
Little
one.
revenge game there for
Yep.
Boone Grove. They got
And the Velt over Bishop Knoll continue to roll on.
All right. You like Rensselaer over Taylor to bounce,
To bounce back. Yeah, this is a big game for them. They need to bounce back. South Central over Winnemac, and this is a tough one too. I think that Winnemac has played fairly well. They've been up and down, so I like this one.
I'm going with Winnemac here, I think, on the home field advantage. Another very even game. It's going to be turnovers and penalties.
That's right.
But I like Winnemac tomorrow night in a very close game.
Good. I think that it will be a very close game. I like Triton over Caston, Culver over West Central, and LaVille over North Judson.
All right, I got to agree with all of those. Don't forget tomorrow night, live 10:30 PFR scoreboard right here on Lakeshore PBS. 6 o'clock, 89.1 FM Lakeshore Public Radio. Tommy, Wayne, a cast of thousands as they call in with high school football updates across Northwest Indiana. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Program support comes from NIPSCO.
Honey, who is this guy?
Oh, that's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Honey, why is Frank in our bedroom?
He's showing us ways to save money. Plus, he'll even help us install LED bulbs and new shower heads.
Oh, well, he is leaving before I shower, though, right?
To schedule an energy assessment and learn more about energy usage, visit NIPSCO.com.
Frank, could you hand me a towel?